What up, tubers? Yeah, it's your pal Jack Hammer Mike with another lame video. Just want to give you guys an update. I've been off YouTube for a little while, no content. Posted a video the other day, a week or two ago, and it's just been a hell of a couple of months here. So let me give you kind of an update on what's going on with me, and then I want to talk about Virginia a little bit. And if you look on the description box, you're going to find a couple of links in PDF files for some of these laws that maybe you've been hearing about. If you cruise the gun channels and other dudes like I do, you know, nothing fancy, think like a cop, Iraqi, veteran, 88, 88, 88, whatever. And, you know, and some of the other guys that we like to watch, you're going to see a lot of talk about Virginia right now. I guess apparently their laws are going to be so archaic or so restrictive as to set a new standard. You know, you thought California and New York were crazy. Apparently Virginia is going to try to top them. So we'll get to that in a minute. But here's what's going on with me. After I shot that last video, or even prior to it, I'd woken up a couple of nights with shortness of breath. And what do I need here? I need a cup. Oil. And I'd sit up for an hour or two and everything would get back down to normal. I would be able to, you know, I'd catch my breath and I'd be alright. Well, about 3 weeks after I shot that video, I could not catch my breath. And quite honestly, it was brutal. I went and did a job real quick because it was kind of early. It's still early in the morning, but I'd gotten up at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just stayed up all night sitting at my desk. It helped to sit up a little bit, but and it was just really tough, scary a little bit too to get through it and have all these problems going on. So anyway, I ended up checking myself into the ER because I just could not get my breath back. They kept me in there for a couple of days and running a bunch of tests, MRIs and blood, all blood. You know what's funny is when they put an IV in you, you would think they'd be able to get blood out of it. Nope. No, it's a one-way door. It only has stuff going into it. They're gonna poke you in the other arm, get your blood. Any of you guys have been in the hospital, you know. It really sucks. So anyway, I thought I'd clean old painless while I'm out here talking to you. So anyway, what happened was that night I went into was sleeping, and apparently I went into AFib, and there's a little chunk of something. I wonder what that was. Boy, it looks pretty good. Anyway, I went into AFib at about like 1 o'clock in the morning for about 15 minutes or so, and nurses come in and woke me up and checking me out, seeing what was going on, how I'm feeling, what's happening. And apparently what they did was they gave me like 3 big syringes full of something or other in my arm, or in my, you know, my IV, and then they gave me some pills that I had to take, you know, every couple of hours or whatever it was to get that heart rate down and get that AFib taken care of. So my heart got back into rhythm. My blood pressure was through the roof, and so they had to get that squared away, and just did a whole bunch of stuff. To give you the Reader's Digest version of it, it didn't. They only kept me for a couple of nights, or 2 nights, 2 nights, And then let me go home next day. And medicine was working pretty good. My blood pressure had gotten down and everything was getting kind of cool. So they sent me home. Well, after that, or before that video got posted, I had gotten a hip injection. And my hip injection was working great, but my body decided, hey, dude, you know what? You're feeling too good. Let's fuck you up. And it did. I ended up getting this, sciatic nerve pain, big time. And once that happened, I couldn't. There were points where I couldn't stand. One, I couldn't stand up straight. Two, it was just brutally painful getting in and out of a vehicle or sitting for any length of time. I went over and visited my kids, and they just about shit themselves when they saw me get up from a table, because it's like I couldn't stand up, and I had to wait for a few minutes before I could get to a point where I could start walking. This is brutally painful. Any of you guys have had sciatica, you know. So anyway, pain was just getting brutal, and so I ended up checking myself in. I woke up one morning a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't stand up straight. Just couldn't get rid of the pain. I couldn't stand up straight, so checked myself into the ER again. This is the second time since October. Checked myself into the ER, and had them give me the once over. They weren't as good as I would hope they would have been. They just weren't that great. I was really hoping for some better results, but they put me on some steroids and gave me a little bit of pain medication. Not too much. They don't want you to get addicted. It was an opioid for whatever reason. They don't want you getting addicted. Like I'm going to get addicted on 7 days worth of opioids, whatever. Shut up. Oh, anyway, that took care of it for a few days. And then, so I was out of the hospital. Came back within like a week after I stopped taking I ran out of the meds. Steroids and opioids and whatever other oids they were giving me. So, that's that. In the meantime, after the first episode with the AFib, the cardiologist that was looking at me, I guess I became his patient because he wanted to see me afterwards and put me in for a stress test to see how everything is going. Also supposed to get a pulmonary doctor to see what's going on up in here. Now, obviously the doctor's like, no, you can't smoke, you gotta stop, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you can't smoke. Yeah, okay, well I'm working on it. I'm totally working on it, folks. Gotta change my diet. It was a scary wake-up call, quite honestly. Not being able to catch my breath. It was like, oh man, what's going on and what do I have? I got emphysema, I got something going on, lung cancer, whatever. They looked at my lungs and I had a little bit of fluid on them, so they had to give me something for that too. But anyway, my doctor wanted to have me do a stress test. So, okay, I'll do it. And I went in, well, after I got the leg worked on or whatever you want to call it, I went in and I'd scheduled a stress test. Well, the day of the stress test, I'd been breathing all right and it hadn't been an issue. But the day of the stress test, I'm not kidding you, my heart rate was at 100, sitting, my heart rate was at 150 beats per minute. Normally, if you guys have any heart issues or anybody who knows, you know it's roughly about 60 to 90, depending on who you are, how big you are. 60 to 90 beats per minute sitting. That's how it's supposed to be. So, needless to say, they couldn't do my stress test. I was too stressed. They wouldn't get a fair reading. So, they admitted me to the hospital. They said, we can't let you go like this. You're about to explode. So, I got put in the hospital again. So this is the third time now since October. And they did a thing called a cardioversion on me. What that is give you sedative, they put you to sleep a little bit. You're in a real light sleep, but you're still asleep anyway. And they shock your heart. Just like this. Show you the insert here. This is what they do to you. Boom! Yes. So I guess you can't be awake for that because it'll shock you or something. I don't know. So they zapped me, got my heart back into rhythm, and got it slowed down. Right now, about 3 weeks later, I'm still at a cool 75 to 85 beats a minute. Want to lose that. 75 to 85 beats a minute. Sitting. I no longer have any shortness of breath. Everything is hunky-dory in that regard. I still have to do the stress test, but my doctor liked the results. He liked what was going on, so we're not going to do anything till after the first of the year. Let's get rid of the holidays first, and then we'll see what we got going on. But in the meantime, the sciatic was flaring up so much, and I was down in so many Tylenols and Advils at the same time. I was doing like six of each in a pop, and it just wasn't even phasing it. So I checked myself into the hospital yesterday. Well, no, strike that. I went to my hip doctor to see what was going on and ask him about hip replacement surgery. I started doing a lot of research on it, and I don't know if any of you guys have had it or not, but that's awful rough. I guess it's just the way it's machined. It doesn't have any rub marks on it. Anyway, I went in and talked to him and asked him. There's two types. I know I'm going to have a hip replacement eventually here, but right now I don't have to worry about it because the cortisone shots are doing really good. And I was getting actually kind of worried because with this sciatic and everything, I'm thinking there's got to be something with the hip going on. But I don't really feel my hip. It doesn't hurt me. And so I went in and talked to him, and he was going to give me a steroid or a cortisone treatment or something. Actually, a 6-day packet, they call it, of steroids. And you have to take 6 one day, or the first day, and then you take 5 the next, 4, wean yourself off of it. And it was working okay for the first couple of days. And then it just totally sucked again. Just didn't even work. So while I'm there talking to the doctor, I asked him about, what his thoughts were and what kind of a procedure does he do. And there's 2 types of approaches to a hip surgery. One is anterior, which they go into the front, and the second one is posterior. It's posterior, I believe, where they go through your back, your butt, and they slice your butt muscle and expose your hip, and they do all the things from the back. Well, that's the most common kind of procedure. The anterior is not so much that it's new, but it's expensive to do or initially set up at a hospital because you have a special table that you get put on. And it's just way better. What they do is they'll go in and they separate the muscles. They don't cut anything. They just separate everything. And they put you on this table that has boots on it. And you get into the boot and it jacks your leg on my right side. They'll jack it that way, cut that ball, that nut off of the bone, and then put my artificial socket in and the hip and all that fun stuff. But it's apparently it's a lot less invasive. It's a faster recovery. There's a very, very slight chance of a dislocation, which really scared me because of the posterior. There's a very high possibility. There's a lot of things that you're limited on. The way you move, the way you twist your leg, the way you get out of bed, the way you sit. I mean, you got to do all these different things that are limiting to go through the posterior, because if not, you can dislocate your hip real quick. I didn't want that at all. So it's like, okay, I'm going for the anterior approach. When I have to have the surgery, that's where we're going to go. And I've got to meet my new orthopedic surgeon on Friday next week. Oh, by the way, Merry Christmas, guys. Boy, I was going to say that right off the bat. Dang. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to all you kids out there. This sure wasn't too bad, was it, folks? It's a lot better. I was going to dump it in my coffee. No, that's not going to clean the gun very well. Where was I? Anyway, it don't matter. I got to go see my guy next week. But in the meantime, because my other hip doctor, he only does posterior, kind of pissed him off, I think, because he got all defensive about it. Oh, it's just as good. Your recovery will be just as good. Yada, yada. And I'm like, not from what I've seen. I've been doing a lot of research on it, dude, because I'm the one that's going to be getting cut open. And, yeah, that wasn't going to fly with me. So I asked him to refer me to another doctor, because he belongs to his place. It's called Ortho Arizona, and it's I don't know if you want to call it a co-op, but it's just a bunch of doctors that belong to this thing. And he was supposed to refer me, and he didn't. Well, he didn't call. He goes, "Yeah, I'll call you. I'll call the office down where you're at, because there was definitely, he's up north, and there's an office down here." And so, anyway, to make a long story short, he was supposed to call them, and then they were going to call me for an appointment. Well, 2 days later, they hadn't called yet, so I called over there, and they hadn't heard from him, so he was a dick. But the thing of it is that I got a hold of them and got scheduled to go see a guy that does the anterior approach. And I'm going to ask him about the sciatic. They've got sports medicine guys there. They've got nerve guys there. They've got all kinds of people at that one clinic. So we're going to be going there and hopefully get some good results. But in the meantime, I checked myself into the ER yesterday. Just because I needed some pain relief, I'm at a point where I'm just going in there saying, dude, you got to give me something for the pain. I'm dying here. Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10. 10. Please, it's a 10. It's brutal. And I'm walking into the ER like this. I couldn't stand up straight yesterday, so I'm walking in, leaning on my leg, and, working my way in. And they go and grab a wheelchair and get me in it, and then start talking to the doctor. They did give me an x-ray to look at my back again, and everything is good. They can't really see the nerves. They need an MRI for that. So that's all good. But he gave me some steroids, a 7-day supply, and some painkillers. I'm happy to report that the steroids are kicking ass. I took one painkiller yesterday just so I could get rid of some of this pain, but I took the steroids, and for the rest of the day and night, no pain whatsoever. This morning I woke up and I took another painkiller just because, and another, the steroids. I'm gonna take the steroid twice a day, and pain is as needed. So I'm feeling really good. This is the first time I've been able to stand up straight, walk normal, without having to limp or whatever, for a long time. And so I'm feeling really good about this. I'm really happy that that guy gave me those steroids, because it's working. Finally, some relief. So that's pretty much that. Again, I gotta go see my guy on Friday, another week, and then we'll see what we can do. You know, with the sciatica, if it's even going to come back, it may not now that I've got those steroids, but I've got to have some in storage here, basically, in reserve, in case it starts to flare up again. So I'm going to try to get another prescription of it, another 7-day supply, and if I ever need it, I won't necessarily have to go in. But here's the thing, now that the sciatic is gone, sorry, I don't mean to rub my crotch in front of you. Now that the sciatic is gone, the hip, it feels fantastic. I mean, I know it's not the hip, and you know, I was telling somebody, you know, when I last went into Dr. Feelgood, and I'm calling all these guys that are helping me, I call them Dr. Feelgood, because what I got is brutal. So anyway, Dr. Feelgood, my cortisone injection guy, this is the second time I've done it, and he says, well, how did it go the first time? And I said, yeah, it was 3 months before it started coming back. And he's like, great, let's see if we can make it last longer. So apparently they gave me 4 milligrams of whatever it was, and this time around they gave me 8. So he's like, maybe, you know, we'll see if we can get you past 4 or 5 months. And it was like, I'm all for that. Do it. And so we'll see. Right now, it doesn't hurt. There's nothing wrong with my hip. You know, it is what it is. So that's pretty much the update. I'm on a lot of meds right now. Just because I've got to keep my heart in rhythm. I've got to keep my blood pressure down. I've got to do a couple of things. Certainly got to work on smoking. Doing really good as far as smoking goes. I'm going to have one here. But I went from 2 packs a day down to about 10 smokes a day right now. So I'm feeling a little bit better about that, and I think by the end, hopefully by the end of January, I'll be off them. I just got to. Again, that wake-up call, that was scary. I know you guys have been saying, you got to quit, you can't smoke, da 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 da. And it's like, yeah, I know. Now I do. Anyway, well, there's so many things that it could be going on that are probably going to maybe be out of my control. I don't know. You know, being the plumber and doing it for almost 40 years now. It'll be 40 next year. Been plumbing for that long. All the drywall that I've had to bust into and cut open with, you know, saws and things like that, and all the dust and debris and things that I've been exposed to, and the chemicals. You know, mesothelioma is something that really haunts me. That's asbestosis, and it really haunts me. So if I got that, I'm dead meat. But initially, they've only seen the fluid on my lungs. They didn't see any spots or anything like that. Got to get a pulmonary guy to double check that, but I've got like one step at a time to go do. Let's get this hip and that sciatica squared away, and then we'll worry about the pulmonary guy. And that's pretty much it. Oh, blood thinners. I'm on blood thinners too because of the AFib. Apparently, you get a risk of heart blood just kind of like recirculating inside the heart, and you'll develop a blood clot. And if that happens, then you know the bad things that can happen if you get a blood clot. So, you know, that's that. So I haven't been able to go out and shoot much. Haven't been able to go run and gun much. Looking forward to getting rid of the holidays here and getting out the first of the year. Knee Knocker wants to get back out where it's nice and cool, and we can go do some shooting. I've got some friends that want to go, and it's like, let's go, man. I gotta get out. I gotta finish zeroing in Old Painless here. You saw in that last video a couple hits at 100 yards with deer slugs. You know, it was pretty impressive, but the flies were so bad I just couldn't stand it, and they were just getting in my face. They were just everywhere, and it was just really throwing off the shooting. So it was not a very enjoyable day. So now that it's nice and cool, we're gonna go back out and see if the old man can run again. You know, now that the heart is beating normally and everything is going good, I think we're gonna be back in business. So that's my spiel. I'm sticking to it. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you guys. Happy Hanukkah for all my Jewish brothers out there. I don't know whether I'll be bringing any other vids to the table. I do have a knife sharpening video that I'd like to do. But we'll see if I can pull that off or not. But anyway, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas again. I love you guys. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for your kind words, wishes. And we'll be seeing you soon here. I'm going to be making a ton, hopefully, videos here not too distant future. It's just got to get through some of these health issues real quick. So, all right, with that, I'm out. Ooh, a good one.